Ooh-wee. Here we are. My thing's falling apart, man. Trying new technology, trying to new ways of doing things. Hello, hi, how are you doing? How are you doing? Welcome to it. It is a Monday. It is season 2, episode 29 of the Slyso TV podcast. A very great evening to you, and thank you for joining us. Man, we don't have much of hectic drama, and I'm sure you saw in the Madlanga Commission as well. But that Karim guy, Karim, that one, yeah. So you can almost tell why Lumchita didn't want to. He even went to courts to say I'm not that. Don't want to come to the Madlanga. Yeah, and then he got to Madlanga, and then his lawyer was out of depth, considering he was sitting with judges and advocates of high statute, he was trying all kinds of like, now this should be held on camera, and Madlanga was in some big, hey, it's not happening. It's not gonna happen. But yeah, that's just about the only thing that's been fiery from our shows, our side of the world, and of course, a couple of things that came out very interesting as well. The ad hoc committee in Parliament. Who can remember? O'Sullivan says, "Yeah, I'm not gonna hang out with a bunch of thugs," and the thugs got him back, criminals, and the criminals got him back to go, and he was so humbled, walking out of there, feeling pain again, sad, pain and done. Mm? Yep, bring those chats through, guys. So out of the stuff that we're going to be talking about, if you have a comment or maybe just to say hi as a friend of the Slicer TV podcast, and also tell us from where you are watching, okay? It will be, obviously, your name will be there. You tell us where you are watching from, as well as which platform are you watching us from, because there are two so far, okay? Our aim is to get to 3 with on TikTok. Just waiting for you to subscribe to the Slicer TV podcast channel on TikTok so that we can bring the entire episode on TikTok for those people who love TikTok. But anyway, what has been interesting, man? Like, yeah, it's almost been like a dull, a dull one. But let's check out of our stories, man. There's this particular one as we start off. The BOSASA corruption net widens, and this is according to the National Prosecuting Authority as they expand the investigation after Vincent Smith sentencing. You will remember Vincent Smith is the guy who was convicted. Took a plea. I was like, yeah, it was given quite a harsh sentence. I think something like 15 years for each of the offenses, which I'm going to put up so that you can actually see for yourself when you have time, because that's one of the things that we pride ourselves and we do. And of course, saying thank you to iol.co.za, which is our go-to platform to find these. I'm just trying to find that story for you, that BOSASA corruption, where the NPA is saying, it's right here at the bottom, where the NPA is saying that they're going to be charging more people. And the question still remains. There's quite a number of people that are fingered in that particular one. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I'm going to share some of those names that are fingered in that investigation as far as the BOSASA is concerned. You will remember BOSASA is almost like the Madlanga, all the stuff that's coming out, and people being fingered and people being caught, with their hands in the cookie jar, or alleged to have been found with their hands in the cookie jar, like they're guilty of something or they should be investigated. You will remember Madlanga who's on the commission going to president of the country ephethe umqulukazi esithi nazi izinto endiye ndazifumana into yobana ingathi azihambanga kakuhle wena president ungazikhangela uba ngabona chance masikhangele very quickly on the chat if we're getting anyone. Yeah, that's where you will find us, okay? Just drop us your message and which platform you are watching us on. But that's the current story that I found to be very interesting because they say that I'm just going to read a little bit of what is in the ticker anyway. They say that BOSASA corruption net widens as the National Prosecuting Authority expands its investigation after Vincent Smith sentencing. They say that following the sentencing of former ANC MP Vincent Smith, the National Prosecuting Authority says it is looking into other dockets related to the BOSASA corruption scandal. Okay. Now you'll remember Smith has been sentenced to 7 years behind bars, as I've just shared, after reaching a plea sentence agreement with the state. Now, with that plea thing, right, means that like you're probably gonna say like, so basically, wanting to work a deal with the state. It's like, okay, cool, I'll give you a little bit of evidence, or I'll help you solve your case. So please make my sentence quite low. So he was the first one to go. Smith also received gratification from BOSASA pursuant to the corrupt activities with which his company is called Aero Blitz 48 and former BOSASA COO Sakumbula Angelo Agrizi. Yep, they were charged. The state said Smith failed to disclose the income of Euroblitz between March 2009 and July 2018, totaling approximately 28 million, big one. So this was still in the Zondo Commission. You must remember these are findings, the sentence on findings that were in the Zondo Commission. Now, the former chair of Parliament's Portfolio Committee to Correctional Services, Smith oversaw the same department that awarded BOSASA company contracts worth billions of rands. So these guys have been talking about billions for quite some time, eh? They've been talking about billions for quite some time. Now, the question that is being asked by people, I just did a quick search, like nothing hectic, nothing fancy, but these are just some of the names that were also fingered in the BOSASA scandal, right? Starting right up from the former president, Jacob Zuma, who was accused of accepting gratification from BOSASA. That one was widely covered as well. Nomvula Mokonyane is also fingered in that one, who's former Minister of Water and Sanitation, implicated in receiving monthly cash payments. Like, dude, groceries and luxury items referred as the Energizer Bunny by BOSASA COO Angela Grizzly. Do you remember talking about the Energizer Bunny? So the Energizer Bunny was something like, we are looking for this contract. How much is it worth? 500 million. Okay. You know, so she was the greaser, in other words. So she's one of those people who were fingered in the Zondo Commission. And now NPA says that we are going to widen our probe into the BOSASA scandal. Another one high up, the favorite, the tiger himself, Gwede Mantashe, Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, found to have received or benefited from free security upgrades to his private properties. You remember? And he was saying, no, there was no such thing. They did not fund anything. Everything there by my house, is me, it's my money. But these documents these private these security upgrades were paid for by. So he's one of those people who was fingered as well. Cedric Frolick, ANC MP and House Chair in Parliament, accused of facilitating unlawful awarding of tenders. So these are just from a simple search on Google in terms of who else is involved or was found wanting by the Zondo Commission. President. So Cedric Frolick is in there. Vincent Smith is there, who has just been sentenced. Do you still remember? Former SAA board chair implicated in helping block BOSASA investigation. Yep. Former Deputy Minister of Defense implicated in receiving a BOSASA-funded security upgrade. So BOSASA was just specializing in thingy. In fact, by the way, guys, all of these things are right here. Yeah, you can check them out. So that is as far as that one is concerned. Now the question on everybody's lips is that, okay, cool, you've got Vincent Smith. Are you going for the people I've just mentioned that you're seeing there? Jacob Zuma, Nomvula Mokonyane, Gwede Mantashe, Cedric Frolick, Dudumyeni along with Tabang Makweka. So those are some of the people that the NPA is probably saying that they are going to go after in terms of finding out what happened there. So that is one story that I felt like you probably need to acquaint yourself with this week. And another one, which is a blow, man. We know what is going on between Israel, Iran, and the United States of America assisting, and the mayhem that has taken place where Donald Trump just, it's a lot. I'm not even going to go into it, but I'm just going to go through or go to the interesting part of the whole thing, right? Which is something that we alluded to, Queen, last week in Dokwana. This whole thing that is happening as far as oil is concerned, we started seeing prices rising from last week already, the week before last, in anticipation during, and it is said that it is going to be crazy. So the next story that I found will be interesting for us to look at. It is the South Africa bracing itself for fuel price hike in April. Apparently, it's going to be like nothing we have never seen. It's going to be historic. That's how they put it in there. I'm going to have the story just now. Just sort of looking forward to put it in a ticker for you so that you can understand or read as we go through it. They say that South Africa braces for historic fuel price hikes in April. They say that we are bracing for that potential fuel price shock at onset of April. So as soon as April, boom, it's going to be, crazy for us. And this is according to, not speculation, but work that has been done by regulators who are anticipating that because of the war that is going on between Israel and Iran, and how protracted that was. It was all over the social media platforms and all of that. And up until now, Donald Trump on the other side claiming victory and saying that they're going to install a leader that is favorable or that they deem fit. But Iran on the other side is saying, hey, tata we leader, unyana we leader, Leni Buleleyo Nguye, who's going to take over, and nothing has been heard coming from Donald Trump in terms of refuting that. But they've just been saying that like they're going to put someone who's favorable, who's going to help, the Iranian people to gain their freedom, get their country after they bomb it, which is basically the kind of thing that they've been doing. If you remember, telling you this goes back to the 40s, man. Like this is how far back and protracted. And then in 1980, these started again with a new leader in Iran, where American companies, they still base there. You must remember these people have bases there. These people have mineral companies that get based in these countries that have fuel, which is strategic, by the way. But anyway, we're still on how this is all going to affect us. They say that the Central Energy Fund's latest data indicates the possibility of the largest monthly fuel price increase in South African history. They say that the current best case scenario predicts a petrol price hike of 2 Rand 41 per liter, while diesel prices could soar by up to 4 Rand 50 for the 50 ppm variant. Now, April will also see the introduction of, you will remember, just recently, the Minister of Finance, he tabled his budget, and he also did say that from the 1st of April, South Africans will encounter a new tax burden. Now, this is on top of what the scenario that is being painted by the Central Energy Fund, saying that we could pay up to 2 Rand 41 for petrol and up to 4 Rand 50 for diesel. Now, this has already been discussed and case closed that from April 1st, South Africans will encounter a new tax burden of 21 cents per liter due to adjustments in the general fuel levy. 9 cents. Carbon levy, 5 cents. And road accident funding levy goes up by 7 cents. With these tax changes, motorists will now contribute A cumulative 4 rand 10 cents per liter to the general fuel levy and 2 rand 25 to the beleaguered road accident fund. So on top of everything else that's going on in Iran, we still have to deal with what was decided by the finance minister as far as those different levies are concerned: the general fuel levy, the carbon levy, and the road accident fund levy. So that is why they say it's going to be a historic fuel price hike. Mfethu ingathi ngokuqalisa kuthiwa zintoni kane ne-Leaf Club kwangoku, but then again still have one takes it to deal with this whole thing. So it's going to be a very interesting one. So yeah, that's one other one that we have to contend with because of the war that is going on between Israel and Iran. And I told you we're going to have a short one today. So we're moving on to the next story. And it's something that really been bothering me as people who search the internet. Most of the time, we do research. We try to find credible information about what is going on, not only in our communities, but in the country as well as in the world. And half the time, with the introduction of AI and people being able to doctor videos, to doctor documents, and all of these things, we find ourselves sitting with people that are quite malicious. The people that do it on places like social media platforms, they do this because they just want to have clicks. Can you imagine with all the AI knowledge that you have, you are going to go use it where not going, like you're going to go use it just for you to get likes. And some people do that with topics like you'll sit and watch a 25-minute video that says that Gwede Mantashe swore at Nomvula Mokonyane. And then they make you watch a 25-minute video. And in the 25-minute video, you see none of that. And that is people that are just baiting so that they can get views and all of that. So there's a lot of fake information, fake views, and sometimes it's just people who are just peddling propaganda, and it is just um, it is just unnerving. It is annoying because people are already already have anxiety from everything else that is happening, and then to come across stories or videos where they tell you this was in Tel Aviv and all to find out at the end of the day it's just an AI generated video, and people end up putting these on their social media platforms as if it is real while it is not. And one such story, not far from here, not far from home, it is this particular one. Now, you will remember Sarah Jane Trent, who was an assistant to Paul O'Sullivan, who was grilled in the ad hoc committee. Okay, it wasn't even a drilling; it was a grilling. How nervous she was, how traumatized she appeared, how uneasy she was, getting into that. And then when the questions started coming from the parliamentarians, it was just South going there. They will always probe your background, your education. How did you get to work with Paul O'Sullivan? Where did you study? And all of these things. But one of the things that had happened, it is that people who are malicious decided, because she was uneasy, it's like, oh, I forgot to mention I also went to school in this particular place, and like blah blah blah. And I think, or assuming that people thought like, okay, she was lying, here's something to get her on. And throughout the weekend, this is what has been going on social media platforms as far as Sarah Jane Trent is concerned, that where people are actually accusing her of never having done her LLB at UNISA. Now they say that UNISA debunked social media posts, claiming that Sarah Jane Trent lied to ad hoc committee about her qualifications. They say that the University of South Africa has come out to debunk the posts on social media, alleging that attorney and certified fraud examiner Sarah Jane Trent lied about enrolling at the university to the Parliament's ad hoc committee. So people started putting this. It has since been blacked out as fake. Now you will remember throughout the weekend, this is what we were getting. UNISA, as if it is a formal press statement that comes from the University of South Africa, and the university had to come out and actually say that the document is false. I mean, look, like just from looking at it, you could tell the spacing, because it is qualified people who have to deal with these press releases. Okay, at least grammar there should be proper. You know, spelling of like these are things that you need to look out for as well. Even though it might carry the UNISA logo at the bottom and appear like a legit document, you still have to do your own digging to find out if it's a real document or not. In this particular case, even the university came out saying that like they never issued that statement. So the university also took to social media to add, this message circulating online is fake. Please rely only on official UNISA communication channels. So that's something that we mentioned on Toto last week, is that half the time you will find some news agents that you've never seen peddling lies. But what you need to do is to make sure that you go to the website of UNISA and try to see under the media statements, or you know, if there is anything that alludes to that, to make sure that or to verify, you know, the information that you're receiving. So I think it's just a plea to people. We are already anxiety prone. We are all stressed, and for you to peddle, you know, untruths as well, it does not help anybody. I don't know what you gain from it. You know, yeah. So it was just one of those things. And I actually picked up a story from a German media company that actually details as far as the war is concerned as well. Let me play that video for you very quickly, where you actually can look and tell if it's fake or not. Just check this out.
Videos claiming to show the US-Israel-Iran war are flooding social media. And while many look dramatic or terrifying, a lot of them are fake, AI-generated, or taken completely out of context. So, how can you tell what's real and what's not? Here are 3 quick tips. Tip number 1. Look closely. You might be watching a manipulated or fully AI-generated clip. In moments of crisis, many accounts post shocking content just to get clicks. Take this video, for example. It supposedly shows a missile hitting a building in Tel Aviv. But does it really? No, it's AI generated. There are several clues. The antennas of the roof collapse before the missile hits, and the building on the left topples onto another one that somehow doesn't collapse. Not realistic at all. Tip number 2. Check if the video existed before. This clip allegedly shows a huge explosion at the US Embassy in Riyadh. But is that true? You can find out quickly. Take a screenshot and run it through a reverse image search tool like Google Lens. This will show you if the video appeared online earlier, or if fact checkers have already debunked it. In this case, they have. The video isn't from the current war. It was uploaded at least in early February 2026. Tip number 3. Rely on trustworthy sources. Confusing crises make it hard to keep track. One user claimed that a video of a strike on a girls' primary school in Minab, Iran, is actually an old attack from Peshawar, Pakistan. Is that true? No, that's wrong. The video is real. Reports from multiple outlets confirm the missile attack on the school, where, according to Iranian state media, at least 165 people were killed. If you're unsure whether the video is real, look for the following things. First, footage from multiple angles. Second, trusted news organizations reporting on the same event. Third, other verified visuals from the scene. In this case, footage from the 2014 Peshawar attack looks completely different, making the claim easy to disprove. In emotional situations like this war, fake content can intensify fear and anger. So, when you see something disturbing online, take a moment. Don't trust everything at first glance, and always check before you share.
Yep, that's what it says, guys. Like, as I say, like, check everything before you go and you share with other people, because this thing, it's not about that, because if you think about it, in most cases, it is people's lives at stake, you know. Like now we're sitting with a distorted view of what is going on as far as the war is concerned, you know what I mean? So I think it's very important for you to get verified news. Hey, go to My parent company, the South African Broadcasting Corporation, SABC News. It will give you. They've got different platforms. They even have SABC Plus, you know, and all kinds of platforms. And by the way, speaking of which, as much as we were saying like, hey, it looks like it's going to go ahead. We haven't heard anything about it. Pretty soon, the 2026 World Cup is set to begin in the United States of America, co-hosting with Mexico as well as Canada. And we still haven't heard much as far as that one is concerned. Okay. So I think we've just been, um, you know, veiled from what really the plans are for that. Just like we are from the Epstein files as far as Donald Trump is concerned. And he came out saying that instead of Americans and the world paying attention to the Epstein files, it's time for us to find out who is going to take over Iran and blah, 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 and all of that, and how we end this war. It's very crazy. They're going to have to put boots on the ground, which is very interesting. And I remember in some social media platforms, talking with some people saying that I think they are ready to, like, America is ready to receive what they got from in Afghanistan, that war going on. Like, we're gonna go in and come out very soon. It ended up being a protracted war that I think lasted some like 8 years, and it will also which they did not win, if you remember. And also as the most recorded one, the Vietnam War, where they say they're going to put boots on the ground, and they were dealing with terrain that they had never experienced before. Their soldiers, and they took a smacking as far as that Vietnam War is concerned. And it looks like it might be the same thing here, because one of the things that is said is that Iran is not like those small countries. Like, for an example, if you take a place like Afghanistan, is almost like a third of Iran. You've got 90 million people in Iran, and Iran has been preparing for this, according to reports, as far as 20 years ago, saying that we want to be ready the day that the United States of America comes back and tries to bully us again. So it's going to be a very interesting one. It's not going to be like they did in Venezuela, okay, where they snatched the president there. The Iranians are really ready. And you must also remember that Kukunam now were between Israel and the United States. One of the things that they did, they murdered, unalived, killed about 140, school kids, in one of the bombings. And for parents to lose their kids, over 140 kids lost, like died from an airstrike from between Israel and United States of America, the Apiga Zombie. The devastation to the people, it's one of those upsetting things as far as war is concerned. And now there were reports of about 6 soldiers from the United States of America that had passed on, that had died during the attacks. But even reports coming from sources in the United States of America are saying that there might be more. And the people that are injured, the soldiers that are injured, might even run up to thousands. And imagine you sending your kid to go fight a war that you don't even believe in, because you can see with the split as far as views are concerned in the United States where Donald Trump is concerned. So that's a very crazy one, man. I've got a message here, which is what I always like, u-S-2 umthandazo umavokoza uthi sisonke mntakabhuti uthi ndimamele ngomonde tsho esengqeleni kunomadolo. So you can send us a message as well. But we are closer to the end of this short episode. As I'm flying it alone, next week the team will be here. This is another one that I came across. I did put this up on social media platforms. Yes. That is your boy Slyso right there. Hanging out with the legend, hanging out with a phenomenal man, hanging out with the godfather of soap opera in South Africa. Now, if you missed it, we had this interview on Nomvula Mokonyane FM 123 Pollers, where we had the old man, graceful as ever, full of stories as ever, Utata Mfundi Vunda, sharing quite a lot about, well, quite a bit that we did not know about him and his growing up. We just know that, like, okay, there's this guy who went to go study in New York, and then he came back. He started writing a soap opera, gave us Generations and other productions, and all of that. But one of the things, I even put it on my social media platforms. I didn't know that, like, we're along with Abantu Bafana no Tatu Upanipitiana, we're at Fort Hare University, and out of the 21 students, well, a lot of students at the beginning of their first year were expelled. Okay, they were sent home after the riots, and then, like, when they came back, there was 21 of them that were not allowed to come back to campus, and he, along with other veterans, was one of those people. So he went home. Very interesting when he tells the story. I went home, right? I came home and I was thinking, I'm going to get a beating from my dad. This is after they were captured by the special branch of the apartheid regime, and and they were tortured, and then they were sent home. And he was worried when he got home how his father was going to react. And instead, what his father did, he gathered the whole family, and he said, and he's like, yeah, and he started relaying the story. This thing is all political, and now he's one of those students who are part of the 21 that is not to go back because they were deemed to be troublesome as far as political activity is concerned. And his father was so proud. He was just sitting there, and he was saying, like, uyindoda, my son. And this was a father. Half the time you would expect or anything like that, but he was like, for standing up and all of that. And from there, spent some time, and then he went to New York. If you missed that, you missed that. We had it on 123 Polas. But it was also the interview around the 32, is it 32 years of 32 years of generation, guys. That's how old generation is. Remember, it was like, we phone your card. Yeah, no, the phone is a generation. We never used to say in the banango 8 o'clock, the phone is 8:30, which was when the generation ended. I was like, no, the phone is a generation. In the banango the phone after 8 o'clock. That's how big it was. And it's done numbers. It's given birth to a number of household actors in South Africa, some of which are still in the circuit. And the beautiful thing that we learned from having him as well is that he's got a new play, by the way, very phenomenal play that is going to hit the Joburg Theatre on the 27th of March. And I managed to get this for you. I didn't even say it's a secret. Don't tell other people. I managed to get this for you.
This is my story. I will tell it the way I want.
Where is she? Where's that woman? She's there, Papa, in the kitchen, I would say to him. Oh, my body would be shaking like a leaf.
You think you're better? You think you are better than me? Because you speak English? Because you went to school? You think you are better than me? I'll beat you now!
I saw Max Roach talking in drums.
I want to break a skull. I want to break it in half. Break it in half for the tomahawk. The head of Henrik Verwoerd.
It's the cancer ward. We're all sitting facing each other with drips just shoving chemicals down our veins. I didn't sign up for this shit. I mean, I'm not in the cancer ward to keep company with people who've made peace with death. No. I'm here to fight this monster.
There's no formula to my story. You will not find it on how-to books on how to write film scripts. This story is not by algorithm.
Yep. Yeah, it is called Man with No Surname. Very beautiful story, some insights. I'm not going to spoil it for you. It takes on, as I said, it's got to do with his life. Because he was sitting and saying, I've been telling all of these stories, but I've also gone through a bit of mine. As I remember, I was sharing about 2022, which is a piece that you hear right here, in the cancer ward, because I think 2022, he was diagnosed with cancer, and he thought it was the end of it. And when he came out of that, he was thinking to himself, listen, if I had passed on, there's a lot that I will have not shared. And I guess he did not want to take the movie route. He did not want to take the soap opera route. He went straight for theater with those two brilliant actors. There is Joburg Theater between the 27th of March and the 12th of April, this 2026. It's called A Man with No Surname. Directed by James Ngobo. So if you want to learn more about please make sure that you do yourself a favor. You go to the Computer Ticket or you go to the Joburg Theater. I think they've got a website where you actually can book yourself a ticket to go watch that. And apparently there's no intermission. There are no breaks. That thing goes on for 1 hour, 40 minutes. So make sure, you empty your bladder before you go into the theater. Otherwise, if you have to go take a break or whatever, you're going to be missing out. Very interesting stories in this Man with No Surname. That takes on very beautiful relationship between an uncle and, umchana wake, and how the other one ngumntana ntombi wasebenzisa name kodwa ke xa kufuneka kwenziwe imisebenzi kwafuneka into yobana utata lumdala umalume makacele umtshana into yobana amhlabele inkosi. See, I don't want to spoil it for you, so make sure that you do go out there. Check out Joburg Theater. I think they've got a website, 27 March until the 27th, the 12th of April, this 2026. It's a play about the story Skatata Mfundi Vundla, Man with No Surname. And I think this is where we ended, ladies and gents. It's been fun. It's been amazing. And it is Monday. I'm sure you've decided by now that you're going to have a very beautiful week. For me, myself, and I, so it's been a pleasure. It's been awesome. Please do. This is the only time because I really want us to get on TikTok. So please do subscribe to our channel on TikTok, which is the Slyso TV podcast, so that we can broadcast the podcast there. And we're coming to the end of our second season. So there will be a few changes in about a month from now, as far as the podcast is concerned, but I'm not going to reveal anything. And we're going to be getting some nice goodies to you too as well, people. So make sure that you tune in, make sure that you share with your people, make sure that you do give us, your opinions as well in terms of how can we best communicate with you. But thank you so much. I have to say the community on TikTok, you guys are so amazing. The engagements are crazy. They are as crazy as our comments sometimes. I know. But thank you so much, guys. Have yourselves a very beautiful evening, Monday evening, rest of the week until we meet again next week, Monday. That's nothing but love from me.